There is a quiet belief that shapes many lives without ever being spoken out loud. It sounds something like this: real life hasn't started yet, but it will. One day, on the surface, everything looks functional. Work is being done, bills are being paid, relationships exist, days are full. But under all of that, there is a subtle sense of rehearsal, as if this is not the actual story, only the introduction. This belief does not usually arrive in dramatic sentences. It hides in small phrases. When things finally calm down, then I'll live the way I want. Once this season is over, then I'll have time. When I get there, then I'll be happy. Then I'll relax. Then I'll be myself. The word "then" becomes a kind of spell. Whatever is here now is quietly declared not enough. Psychologists have a name for one piece of this pattern: arrival fallacy. The mind imagines a point in the future where everything will finally come together. After that point, the inner weather will change. There will be peace, confidence, clarity. The problem is that this point is always just beyond wherever life currently is. Younger years might be lived with the thought, when I get into the right school, then life begins. Later it becomes, when I leave this place, when I find the right job, when I move to that city, then it will feel like real life. After that, when I am in a relationship, when I'm out of this relationship, when I have more stability, when I have more freedom. The specifics change. The structure stays the same. Happiness and aliveness are always delayed. Modern culture reinforces this. Many messages say, optimize yourself now to build a better future. It sounds wise. Save money, develop skills, invest in long-term projects. Some of that is healthy, but there is a subtle twist. The present moment is framed as a trade-off. Suffer now, enjoy later. Hustle now, live later. Fix yourself now, love yourself later. Slowly, life begins to feel like a series of tunnels leading to a final bright room where everything will make sense. The problem is that every time the bright room seems close, the mind moves it further away. A promotion that was supposed to change everything becomes just a step. A relationship that was supposed to erase loneliness reveals new layers of self to be worked on. A spiritual or therapeutic milestone that promised permanent peace reveals that the mind is still capable of worrying. There is a biological layer to this. The brain is wired to release dopamine not only when a reward is received, but also when moving toward it. Anticipating a better tomorrow lights up the system. The emotional movie of "soon my life will be different" can feel better in the moment than sitting with the complexity of how life actually is today. The chase becomes more stimulating than the arrival. This creates the horizon delusion, the sense that meaning lives on a line in the distance. No matter how far one walks, the horizon stays ahead. What was once the dream becomes normal very quickly. The nervous system adapts. Gratitude fades. The mind says, now that this is handled, it is time to aim for the next thing. Satisfaction becomes something glimpsed briefly and then lost in the next projection. The cost of this constant rehearsal is not just missed moments of joy. It is a distortion of how life is learned. When the present is treated only as a stepping stone, all skills are seen as preparation. Communication skills are practiced mainly to succeed later. Emotional work is done mainly to earn a better relationship later. Spiritual practice is used to manifest a better reality later. The present is rarely honored as the arena where these qualities are actually lived. It becomes a laboratory, not a home. This can create a strange relationship with identity. If I am always imagined as a future version, more healed, more successful, more wise, then the person who exists today can feel like a temporary character. Decisions are made not by asking, what brings integrity and meaning now, but what will get me closer to that image faster? The risk is that the current self is never fully inhabited. It is only tolerated as a version that needs to be improved. Living this way also breeds a specific kind of anxiety, the anxiety of constantly running simulations. The mind spends significant time imagining what might happen next, what could go wrong, what needs to be done to avoid pain tomorrow. Planning, in moderation, is useful, but past a certain point, it stops being planning and becomes avoidance, a way of not sitting with the vulnerability of the present. There is often a subtle line where this happens. Planning is practical when the question is, what steps make sense to take given where things are? It becomes avoidance when the underlying question is, how can any discomfort be prevented? The first is grounded in reality. The second is rooted in fear. When that line is crossed, the future is not just prepared for, it is used as a hiding place. Digital life intensifies all of this. Feeds show a constant stream of evidence that other people's lives are already in the after stage, before and after transformations, before and after success, before and after enlightenment. The messy middle, the years of confusion, doubt, half-finished attempts, ordinary days, is rarely visible. The brain fills in the gaps with fantasy. It quietly concludes that other people somehow jumped from start to arrive with less wandering. At the same time, the culture of hustle and constant output sends a message. Value is based on what is being built for the future. Quiet days, reflective days, slow days look unproductive and therefore suspect. A simple afternoon spent being present with a loved one, reading, cooking, walking, or resting provides no visible proof for the external world. A day spent announcing a new project, posting progress, and showing motion does. Algorithms do not celebrate someone simply being where they are, breathing, noticing, appreciating. They celebrate what can be measured: new milestones, new purchases, new changes. In this environment, staying present can feel like falling behind. The finish line for enough slides forward with every new example of more. This creates the digital mirage of success, a shimmering image of a future life that looks complete. It is built from other people's highlights and the mind's projections. The more this mirage is stared at, the easier it becomes to believe that once it is reached, existence will finally settle. But because the mirage is made of comparison and fantasy, it cannot be reached. It changes shape every time one moves toward it. If this is not seen clearly, entire seasons of life can be labeled transition. I am in a temporary job. This relationship is just for now. This place is only until I can move. This version of me is only until I become who I am supposed to be. Some of these statements might be accurate. Life does change. Circumstances evolve. But when everything is seen as just for now, there is a danger. Years can pass without any period being fully claimed as actual life. Breaking this pattern does not mean abandoning all plans and goals. The future still matters. Children need to be cared for. Bills need to be paid. Actions taken today do shape tomorrow. The invitation is not to deny that, but to loosen the grip of a specific illusion, that life only truly counts after some imaginary threshold. One doorway out of the tyranny of someday is what can be called radical presence. Radical presence is not a mystical lightning bolt. It is the simple, often uncomfortable choice to be where the body actually is, with as much honesty as possible, instead of living primarily in mental movies of elsewhere. It is recognizing that no matter how imperfect, incomplete, or in transition the current phase feels, it is still the only place where the heart beats, breath happens, and real connection is possible. Practically, radical presence often begins with small acts. When eating, actually tasting the food, feeling its texture, instead of rushing through while the mind runs future scenarios. When with someone, letting attention rest on their voice and presence, instead of half listening while texting or planning. When a painful emotion rises, staying with its sensations for a few breaths, instead of immediately escaping into a screen or a new plan. The mind may protest. It may say, "This is pointless. Nothing is being achieved. Time is being wasted." That reaction is not proof that presence is wrong. It is evidence of how deeply the habit of postponement has sunk in. The mind has been trained to believe that only actions that move toward the imagined future are valuable. Presence challenges that assumption at its roots. Another doorway is shifting identity from the one who is on the way to the one who is living now. A goal-oriented identity often sounds like, "I am someone who is working toward X." A process-oriented way of existing sounds more like, "I am someone who shows up with care in whatever is here." The first attaches worth to outcomes. The second attaches worth to the quality of attention and integrity brought to each moment, regardless of measurable results. This does not mean goals disappear. It means they move from being heavy conditions for self-acceptance to being gentle directions. A person can still aim to change jobs, to deepen relationships, to heal specific wounds. But instead of thinking, "My life will begin when this is complete," the inner tone becomes, "My life is happening now." while this is in motion. Future intentions can be held like seeds, not like escape routes. They are planted in the soil of today. Actions are taken, but the sense of self is not suspended until a certain fruit appears. Life is allowed to be meaningful in the middle of the process, not just at the imagined end. Rituals can help anchor this. Simple daily practices like stepping outside for a few minutes to feel the air, placing a hand on the heart, and noticing its rhythm. Writing down 3 specific and concrete aspects of the day that were real and valuable, even if nothing was achieved in the traditional sense. These are small, grounded ways of reminding the nervous system, this counts. This moment counts. Slowing down does not mean doing nothing. It means giving what is being done the dignity of full presence. Listening to a child's story at the end of the day. Washing a dish with awareness instead of resentment. Answering an email with care instead of speed. These acts seem minor compared to launching big projects or making life-changing decisions, but they are the fabric of existence. The architecture of a conscious now is built less from dramatic events and more from these repeated, modest choices. It is also built from honest acknowledgement, saying, "This is not where I thought I would be by now," without immediately rushing to fix it. Allowing sadness, regret, or frustration to be felt, instead of pushing them away with another fantasy of the future. Paradoxically, facing reality fully often frees more energy to actually change it, while constant escape into one day tends to keep things stuck. There is a quiet courage in declaring, "This is my life, not the one I planned, not the one I compare with others, but the one that exists right now." From this place, decisions made about the future come from contact with what is real, not from panic or shame. Goals become expressions of care for this present self, not punishments for not matching an imaginary timeline. If something in this reflection feels uncomfortably true, if the idea of a mental waiting room, of rehearsing, of living for a future that never quite arrives sounded familiar, that recognition is not meant to create guilt. It is evidence that a deeper part of the mind is already waking up to the pattern. That part is the same part that longs for a more inhabited life. Subscribing keeps these slow, deep explorations close for the days when the pull of someday feels especially strong. Liking the video helps it find others who are quietly postponing their existence until things are finally right. Sharing it with someone who often says, "When this phase is over, then I'll live," might give them a new way to see their own story. And in the comments, naming one area of life that has been treated as just rehearsal, work, relationships, inner growth, can be the first step in stepping out of the waiting room and into the performance that has been happening all along.